अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये
अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये
तानि बोधद्विजोत्तम
तानि बोधद्विजोत्तम
नायका मम सैन्यस्य
नायका मम सैन्यस्य
सन्यातं तान् ब्रवीमि ते
सन्यार्तं तान् ब्रवीमि ते
भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च
भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च
कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः
कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः
अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च
अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च
सौमदत्तिस्तथैव च
सौमदत्तिस्तथैव च
अन्ये च बहवः शूराः
अन्ये च बहवः शूराः
मदत्ते त्यक्त्वा जीविताः
मदर्थे त्यक्तजीविताः
नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः
नानाशस्त्रप्रहरणाः
सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः
सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः.
He goes there to his teacher and taunts him once again. Because deep down, Duryodhana knew, deep down, deep inside he knew, Drona is with him only because he is bound by his notions of duty. Bhishma is with him physically in his side, only bound by their notions of duty. Their heart is not with them. Drona's heart is with Pandavas. Bhishma's heart is with Pandavas. But various circumstances, various situations which led them to give their support physically to be there, but deep inside their heart was only for the Pandavas. So he knew the softness they had in that heart, be it Bhishma or be it Drona. So he calls him, hey Dvijottama, twice born. You have a tender heart. I can see it. You have a tender heart for them. Because you rule by what is, your head works on what is right and wrong. Here, this guy has got a killer instinct and greed. Drona's got nothing to gain from that war. So he said, Dvijottama, twice born. Let me tell you who is there in our army. You have to understand, you have to know. How do you go and tell Drona, let me tell you who is there in your army, in our army? How ridiculous is that? That is the leader there who has trained the students, the chief in charge of the academy which Drona was running. Most of them are products of that institute. Personally, he knew. And you go out to tell them, let me tell you who are the people in our side, which itself is a very ridiculous one. And Duryodhana adopting what is called as a very ordinary, average diplomacy. Very average diplomacy. Many people can see through it. But he, in the mind of tension, he adopts one of the very average, mean level of diplomacy is flattery. Please understand. Flattery is a very mean diplomacy level. Only very, very low self-esteemed people will be floored by flattery. Please remember, low self-esteemed people will be floored. You go flatter them, they're finished. low self-esteem. Self-worth is low. They would be floored by flattery. Someone who knows things well, who knows about oneself, who does not need others' opinion, try flattering that person. In what way would that person pay attention to flattery? So here he adopts the agitated mind. Drona adopts one of those, Duryodhana adopts one of those cheap methods, a very mean, average, below average level of diplomacy, going there and saying, in our army, and who is standing next to him? Bhishma is standing next to, the next chariot to Drona was Bhishma. He looks and he says, in our army, great warriors are there like yourself. Place him in front of Bhishma. Bhavan, yourself. And there is Bhishma. Now, this is what an agitated mind does. You want to please Drona because he called him Dvijottama. He realized, I used a wrong word. I called him a person with a tender heart. That was more like an insult there, and he understood this is not the word I should have used. How do I recover from what I have said? Great warriors are there in our side. Yourself, the topmost. Then there is Bhishma. Bhavan, yourself, then Bhishma. And then he goes out to say, yourself, Bhishma, Karna, his friend came to his mind, Karna, Kripa. Kripacharya. Kripa was also one of the men who survived the war. Kripa. He says, Kripa, his brother-in-law, Drona's brother-in-law. And Ashwatthama, Vikarna. He took few names. Bhavan, yourself, Bhishma, Karna, Ashwatthama, Kripa, Vikarna. Kripa, Ashwatthama, Drona. You see the level of trying to please. Picks up all his clothes. Ashwatthama is Drona's son. Kripa is Drona's brother-in-law. He picks up all these names because one word uttered wrongly, trying to make it up, and he messes it up further, saying, there are great warriors like you. Then there is Bhishma, then there is Karna, then there is Kripa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, etc. We have these great people in our sight too. And in that heights of tension, he utters something more demeaning. He says something which is more destroying. This verse, we see, where he says, and many other great heroes, Suraha, many other great heroes are all here ready to give up their life. Tyakta jivitaha madartam. And they've all come here to give up their life for my sake, ready to sacrifice even their life, madarte, my sake. Imagine the people who would have heard that. Soldiers entering into the war. Next moment the war is about to begin. The dictator, Duryodhana, demoralizes the entire forces. With all this kind of talks. All these great people have assembled here to give up their life for my sake. The kings there who have come to support Kauravas, if Duryodhana had gone with his own flag, would anybody join him? The reverence for Bhishma. All of them came forward. And here the man feels they have all come madarte, for my sake, tyakta jivitaha. They have come here to give up their life for my sake. Now imagine, before entering into the war, this is the level of conversation. And how can Duryodhana assume that everybody has come forward for him? we should always keep in mind when people support, they support a higher cause and not an individual. And to assume that it is for my sake would be a Duryodhana syndrome. Please keep it in mind. For my sake, everybody came for my sake. Excuse me, think again. For your sake or for something nobler and higher? And that too, to make a statement like this, that they have come here to give their lives. A soldier going before, in other words, a demoralizing statement, they are ready to die for me, is a very, very mean statement. When he started messing up so much, the only way to recover from this mess and demoralizing, someone has to take charge. Bhishma, the old war hero, the veteran, old guard, saw, and he said he first came to insult Drona, then he tried to make it up by praising Drona, ignoring him. He was messing up. So something has to be done. The quick thinking through which Bhishma responds. We'll see that in the next 3 verses.
Aparyaptam tadasmakam
Aparyaptam tadasmakam
balam bhishma virakshitam
Bhalam Bhishma virakshitam
Paryaptam tvidame tesham
Paryaptam tvidame tesham
balam bhima virakshitam
Balam Bhima virakshitam
Ayaneshu cha sarveshu
Ayaneshu cha sarveshu
Yatha bhagamavastitah
Yata bhagamavastitah
Bhishmameva bhirakshantu
Bhishmameva bhirakshantu
Bhavantas sarva eva hi
Bhavantas sarva eva hi
Tasya sanjanayan harsham
Tasya sanjanayan harsham
Guru vriddha pritamaha
Guru vriddha pitamahah
Simhanadam vinadyochaihi
Simhanadam vinadyochaihi
Shankham dadmau pratapavan
Sangam tatmau pradapavan.
When Bhishma was standing next to Drona, he said, Bhavan, yourself, and then there is Bhishma. Now a thought ran through Duryodhana's head. Is Bhishma offended by that statement of placing Drona above Bhishma? Is Bhishma offended? In case Bhishma is offended, what do we do? Somewhere recover. So immediately he says, therefore our army, which is protected by Bhishma, may be large in number, but by spirit, Duryodhana understands the Pandavas are more spirited because the Pandava forces have dharma to motivate. For dharma, defending dharma, righteousness. So when we have a higher cause, we are inspired more than a selfishness. If there is selfishness, one cannot work. You will not find the required energy. If it is for a noble cause, you will find that kind of energy, the drive. So the Pandavas, less in number but greater in spirit. The Kauravas could be more in number, but they know they are not standing for a righteous cause. Dharma is not their motivating force. So he says, our army is protected by Bhishma. Though we may be large in number or less in number or less in spirit, this is what it is. Our army is protected by Bhishma, and the Pandava forces are protected by Bhima. What a word to take. Krishna is there. And the Pandavas think only on Arjuna more for their war. But he left these two names and he took Bhima. Bhishma is guarding our army and Bhima is guarding their army. Deep down, Duryodhana knew others probably can even drop, forgive. Bhima will not. Bhima will not. He took a vow, an oath, that he will destroy all the 100 Kauravas. And childhood enmity. Childhood enmity. From childhood, Duryodhana and Bhima were always at loggerheads fighting. Childhood enmity. So naturally at the height of tension, for him what naturally comes was that childhood enemy. Bhima is there to protect them. Bhishma is on our side and Bhima is there on their side. He did not consider Krishna, Arjuna or Yudhishthir as their leader, Drishtadyumna as their commander-in-chief. All that is gone. Bhishma is our protector. Bhima is their protector. Now imagine the man standing there, the king, talking. How do you think would be his forces? Our soldiers must be muttering to one another. What is he doing? What is he saying? What did he say? And the word goes out that he said, everybody have gathered here to die for my sake. Now imagine this passing through the soldiers that we have gathered here. So it's a complete demoralized group of Kauravas. And that credit goes to Duryodhana. Even before starting the war, he finished his army. He irritated them fully with his words. If Duryodhana probably was silent, the Kauravas would have been more motivated maybe. He uttered, he spoke, and that was sufficient. And is that not true? Are there not people who open their mouth and people around can be completely demotivated? End result, because of what you thought as inspiring words, work not done. Duryodhana syndrome. We need to understand a leader has to motivate people, keep them inspired, not demotivating. So here when he tried all this, everything was getting messier. So at that point of time, he says, at strategic points, everyone be stationed and guard Bhishma. Take everyone, we have to guard Bhishma, because deep down he knew that Bhishma has a boon that he can die only when he wills to. As long as Bhishma is alive, the Kauravas have not lost the war. Duryodhana knew that very clearly. So he tells, wherever, whatever we have discussed, wherever you have stationed, please understand, guard Bhishma, protect his chariot, guard him. So when all this mess was going on, Bhishma decided, enough is enough. We need to change the mood completely. Otherwise, there could be even a protest among them, someone getting up and saying, Duryodhana, please stop. Before something could get more out of control, something to be done, Bhishma takes the conch. The old man takes the conch and blows the conch. To say, here we come, the war has begun, we are ready. Now suddenly imagine, this is the detailing Vyasa has gone into. Bhima protecting, Bhishma protecting, the childhood enemy, the analysis. And then in this situation, without saying much, he just says, when all this was happening, to encourage Duryodhana, Bhishma took the conch and he blew the conch. Now imagine, suddenly the whole mood is gone. All are not very sure. In quick, the mood has to change. That is leadership. That is leadership. The entire mood to change. He said, if I leave this, it will deteriorate further. He took the conch, he blew the conch. That is equal to the first arrow shot. Bhishma took the conch, he blew the conch, saying, here we are ready for the war. And when he blew the conch, naturally these thoughts which are running in the mind, all would have stopped. Everyone knows, yes, the conch is blown. Now take your conch, take your drum, down, start the bugle. People would have started. That's how, at this point of time, Bhishma responds, saying, save the day, not going worse further, take the conch and blow. He changed the mood of the people, and everyone started taking their own conches and started blowing. Continuing, next 3 words.